The air is thick and heavy, almost suffocating. You can practically see the heat hanging in the air, distorting the world around you. It's a palpable presence, a weight pressing down on everything. Step outside and you feel it instantly. It hits you like a wall, a wave of oppressive heat that steals your breath and makes you question whether you should retreat back indoors. Britain is in the grip of another punishing heat wave, a relentless assault of sunshine and scorching temperatures that are pushing the nation to its limits. The landscape shimmers under the intense heat, a visual reminder of the extreme conditions. The Met Office has issued its highest ever temperature warnings, a stark indication of the severity of the situation and the potential danger to public health. These warnings aren't just advisories, they're urgent calls for caution and preparedness. With records set to be broken, the numbers climb higher and higher, each degree a testament to the escalating climate crisis and the unprecedented challenges it presents. Pavements radiate heat, turning city streets into urban ovens. The asphalt softens and shimmers, reflecting the sun's rays back into the faces of those who dare to venture out. Towns slow to a crawl as people seek refuge from the sun's intensity. The usual hustle and bustle of daily life fades away, replaced by a sense of stillness and quiet desperation. And people hide from the relentless sun, huddled under awnings, seeking the meager comfort of shade, desperately trying to escape the oppressive heat. Parks and public spaces, usually filled with activity, are eerily deserted. This isn't just barbecue weather, it's far more serious than that. The heat is not an invitation to celebrate, but a threat to be reckoned with. It's a national emergency. Resources are stretched thin, and the government is struggling to cope with the cascading effects of the extreme weather. Roads are melting, buckling under the strain of the extreme temperatures, disrupting transportation and causing widespread chaos. Train tracks are buckling, leading to delays and cancellations, further isolating communities and disrupting the flow of goods and services. And schools are closing because classrooms are too hot, leaving parents scrambling for childcare and disrupting the education of a generation. The government scrambles with emergency meetings. Ministers and advisors huddle together, desperately seeking solutions to a crisis that seems to be spiraling out of control. Headlines are dominated by the heat, with every news outlet reporting on the record-breaking temperatures and the devastating impact on communities across the country. The sound of summer is now the hum of air conditioning, a constant drone that underscores the desperate need for artificial cooling in a world that is rapidly overheating. And the wail of ambulance sirens, a haunting reminder of the human cost of this extreme weather event. Emergency services are stretched to their breaking point, responding to a surge in heat-related illnesses. Health officials urge us to check on vulnerable neighbors, reminding us that community and compassion are essential in times of crisis. This is a public health crisis, not just a weather event. Hospitals are overflowing with patients suffering from heat stroke, dehydration, and other heat-related ailments. Sleepless nights, tossing and turning in the sweltering heat, unable to find relief. Worry for loved ones, especially the elderly and those with underlying health conditions, as families anxiously monitor their well-being. And anxiety for farmers and firefighters are now part of daily life, as crops wither in the fields and wildfires rage across the countryside. We used to look forward to summer, to long days spent outdoors, enjoying the sunshine and the warmth. Now, heat waves bring dread, a sense of foreboding and fear for what the future holds. The world is changing, rapidly and dramatically before our very eyes, and so are our lives in the UK, as we adapt to a new reality of extreme weather and unpredictable seasons. The climate crisis is no longer distant, a theoretical threat looming on the horizon. It's right outside our doors, a tangible and immediate danger that demands our attention and action. This is the new reality of a British summer, a stark reminder of the urgent need to address the climate crisis and build a more sustainable future. We're seeing unprecedented heat waves, temperatures soaring to levels we've never experienced before. It's natural to ask, why is this happening? What's causing these extreme weather events that are impacting communities around the globe? The answer from scientists is clear, and it's based on decades of research and data analysis: climate change. The overwhelming consensus points to a single, undeniable cause. World Weather Attribution, a global team of experts, is at the forefront of analyzing extreme weather events and determining the extent to which climate change plays a role. Has studied this heat wave, meticulously examining the data, running complex climate models, and comparing current conditions to historical records. Their conclusion, after rigorous analysis and peer review, a heat wave this intense, reaching these record-breaking temperatures, is now at least 100 times more likely than it would have been without human-caused climate change. The odds have been dramatically altered because of human-caused climate change. Our reliance on fossil fuels and other activities that release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere has fundamentally shifted the probabilities. We've loaded the dice, tilting the odds in favor of more frequent and intense heat waves by pumping greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and disrupting the natural climate system. Every heat wave now bears the fingerprints of climate change, a clear and unmistakable sign of our impact on the planet. More frequent, more intense, with each passing year, the records continue to be broken. More dangerous. The health risks associated with these extreme temperatures are significant, particularly for vulnerable populations. The Met Office agrees. The UK's National Weather Service is also sounding the alarm. 40-degree days, once unthinkable, a scenario that seemed impossible just a few years ago, are now a real possibility every few years. This isn't an anomaly, it's a trend. For every degree the planet warms, the consequences become more severe. Extremes get more extreme. The intensity and frequency of heat waves, droughts, floods, and other natural disasters will continue to escalate. The link between greenhouse gases and the heat outside is not just a theory, is a scientific certainty, supported by overwhelming evidence and a broad consensus within the scientific community. This isn't about blame, it's not about pointing fingers or assigning guilt. It's about facing facts, acknowledging the reality of the situation, and understanding the science behind it. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It's not something that will happen in the future. It's here, now, impacting our lives and communities in tangible ways. In our buckling infrastructure and record temperatures, pushing our systems to their breaking points. The evidence is undeniable. The data speaks for itself, leaving no room for doubt. Our actions have fundamentally altered the climate, changing the very fabric of our planet's atmosphere. This extreme heat is a direct consequence of our choices and our dependence on fossil fuels. The scientific community is unified. There is virtually no disagreement about the reality and causes of climate change. We are living with the results of our choices. The consequences are no longer theoretical. They are real and present. The era of rare heat waves is over. What was once considered an unusual event is now becoming commonplace. This is the new normal, a reality we must adapt to and address with urgency and determination. Cast your mind back. Remember the legendary summer of 1976? The sun beat down relentlessly day after day. It was a once-in-a-generation event, a summer etched in the national memory. The country was parched, reservoirs ran dry, and standpipes appeared on street corners. Back then, heat waves were rare shocks, anomalies that disrupted the usual rhythm of British weather. They were talked about for years to come. Afterward, life returned to normal. The rains came, the grass turned green again, and the heat wave became a distant memory. The country breathed a collective sigh of relief. Now, the data is clear. The long-term trends are undeniable. What was rare is now routine. What was once considered exceptional is becoming increasingly commonplace. From 1961 to 1990, the UK had just 5 major heat waves. These events were spaced out, allowing the country to recover in between. In the last decade, we've matched and exceeded that. The frequency and intensity of heat waves have increased dramatically. Extreme heat is now a regular feature of British summers. It's no longer an anomaly, but an expected part of the annual cycle. We even have a heat wave season, a period of the year when we brace ourselves for potentially dangerous temperatures, and new weather warnings, designed to alert the public to the dangers of extreme heat. These warnings are becoming increasingly frequent. The 10 hottest years on record in the UK have all occurred since 2003. This is not just a statistical blip, it's a clear indication of a warming trend. This isn't coincidence, it's a pattern driven by climate change. The science is unequivocal. Our planet is warming and the UK is feeling the effects. Our infrastructure, homes, and healthcare weren't built for this. We're simply not prepared for the increasing frequency and intensity of heat waves. We're a nation designed for mild, damp weather, for gentle rain and cool summers. Our buildings, our infrastructure, and our way of life reflect this, not relentless heat. Our homes are poorly insulated against the sun, our cities lack shade, and our infrastructure struggles to cope with high temperatures. The climate that shaped our country is vanishing, transforming the landscapes and ecosystems we've always known. We now live in a hotter, drier, more volatile Britain. This new reality demands a fundamental shift in how we live and how we plan for the future. The challenge is adapting to this new normal, to building resilience into our infrastructure, our homes, and our communities. Scorching summers are no longer a surprise. They are not an exception. They're a dangerous, predictable part of life, posing significant risks to public health and well-being. The exceptional has become expected. The unusual is now usual. Our green and pleasant land is changing before our eyes, and we must act now to protect what remains. The question is, how will we respond? What steps will we take to mitigate the impacts of climate change and adapt to this new reality? The time to adapt is now. We must act decisively and urgently to build a more resilient and sustainable future. Heat waves aren't just more frequent, they're hotter. Scientists say a UK heatwave today is 2 to 4 degrees Celsius hotter than a century ago. That difference is the line between discomfort and real danger. Think of it like a fever. A couple of degrees can mean crisis. This extra heat pushes our infrastructure and health to the brink. 40-degree days, once thought impossible, are now reality, decades ahead of predictions. The baseline has shifted. Every summer day is warmer. More carbon dioxide acts like a thicker blanket, trapping more heat. When high pressure settles in, the heat builds to levels we never faced before. Today's extremes are the climate change penalty we're all paying. The stakes are higher than ever. Behind the headlines, the human cost is real. Extreme heat is deadly, especially for the elderly, babies, pregnant women, and those with health conditions. The UK Health Security Agency issues heat health alerts. These are life and death warnings. Older people struggle to regulate body temperature. A heat wave can be a deadly trap. Every heat wave brings a spike in excess deaths, mostly among seniors. Urban areas are hit hardest, with the urban heat island effect making cities even hotter. Health officials urge us to treat heat like any other natural hazard. Check on vulnerable friends and neighbors. A simple call can save a life. The cost of inaction is measured in hospital admissions and lives lost. This is not just inconvenience, it's a public health emergency. The most vulnerable need our help. The new climate reality demands it. Ask your parents or grandparents about their childhood summers. Gentle heat, 25 degrees, was a scorcher. Our homes were built to keep warmth in, not heat out. Now, they trap heat, turning into ovens during a heat wave. Air conditioning, once a luxury, is becoming a necessity. Daily routines have changed. Work from home, avoid midday travel, keep curtains closed. We're learning to live in a hotter world, adopting habits from warmer countries. Even our landscape is changing. Green fields turn brown, parks dry out. The green and pleasant land is fading. The visual evidence is everywhere. The character of Britain is being reshaped by rising temperatures. The Britain of today is not the Britain of 50 years ago. Climate is the reason. Hotter, drier summers bring a new threat: wildfires. Once a distant problem, wildfires are now a real risk in the UK. Heat waves dry out grass, woodlands, and peat. One spark can start a blaze. Fire services face larger, more intense fires than ever before. In 2022, London saw its busiest day for fires since 1-2. Our landscapes and homes are at risk. Peat fires can smolder for weeks, releasing carbon and destroying habitats. Wildfires are a dangerous new reality brought by climate change. Staying safe in the heat is now essential. Stay hydrated, drink water, avoid excess alcohol and caffeine. Stay cool, avoid the sun at peak hours, use shade, and keep your home cool with closed curtains. At night, create a cross breeze if it's cooler outside. Check on vulnerable people. Your call could save a life. Know the signs: heat exhaustion, dizziness, heavy sweating, needs quick action. Heat stroke, confusion, seizures is an emergency. Call 999. Move those affected to a cool place and cool them down fast. These simple steps are now vital skills for a British summer. Listen to health advice. It could save lives. We all have a role to play. Another record-breaking heat wave. Emergency services stretched. This is our new reality. Climate change is no longer a prediction, it's our present. We must adapt our homes, cities, and systems for a hotter world. Ignoring the problem is not an option. The cost is too high, but there is hope. Understanding the science empowers us to act. Every step to cut emissions and protect our environment matters. The future of our climate is still in part in our hands. This isn't someone else's problem. It's ours right now. With honesty and